Hey guys, it's Ivy. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing my June wrap-up. In the month of June, I read 11 books, and I was traveling and everything, so that was really cool that I got that much reading done. The first book I read was Legendary by Stephanie Garber, and I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. This is the sequel to Caraval, and if you don't know what Caraval is about, you really should because it's amazing. It's about this girl named Scarlett, and she goes into this like circus kind of carnival-esque thing, and while she is there a lot of stuff happens and she has to decide whether it is real or whether it's part of the show, and she's there to save her sister Tella. And this book is in the perspective of another character from that series, and honestly, I can't decide which one I liked more. I highly enjoyed both. They were both a lot of fun, and the same thing, I could never decide what was real or what was part of the show in here. You find out a lot of things that you wanted to know from book one, so it was amazing. It was so good. Highly recommend this series. Then I read When Life Gives You Demons by Jennifer Honeyborn. This book is about a girl named Shelby who is training to be an exorcist, and in the town she lives in is swarming with demons, so she has to finish her training pretty quickly. Shelby's mother left under mysterious circumstances. She hasn't heard from her mother, and she wants to figure out what is going on, so that plays a big part in the story as well. Also, a new boy shows up, and he may or may not become one of her crushes. I gave this book a 3.75 out of 5 stars, I believe. I thought it was fun, it was a cool summer read, and I liked it. Then I read City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab, and this book is about a girl who drowned and went between the veil of life and death, and now she can see ghosts. Her parents write stories about ghosts, and this leads her to go to Edinburgh, and there she encounters a not so nice spirit along with her spirit friend who does follow her, and she also meets another girl who she finds out has the same ability that she does. I really liked this. It was so much fun. It was so atmospheric, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Next up, I read Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. This book is about a girl who finds out that her friend and a couple of girls she goes to school with committed suicide, and everybody believes that it was a suicide pact except for her. She believes that there's more to the story than meets the eye, and she wants to figure it out. Her and her best friend like witchcraft, and she stumbles upon this book that her best friend had, and in this grimoire there's a spell to raise the dead. So what does she do? She raises the dead to ask her friend what happened to her, but it raises all of the girls, and so she is stuck with a group of dead girls. This was fun. I had fun reading it. I think I gave it like a 3 out of 5 stars. It was just a quick, quirky read, and I liked it. And I also read The Strange Fascinations of Noah Hypnotic by David Arnold, and I picked this up in Barnes & Noble, and I started reading it, and I literally read like 150 pages while I was there. I could not put this one down. It is so good. This book definitely became one of my favorite books of the year. I could not stop reading it. This is about Noah, and Noah is obsessed with strange things. One night, him and his friends go to a party, and at this party he gets kind of tipsy, and he meets this guy in the library, and this guy invites him back to his house, and the guy starts performing a hypnotism on Noah, and Noah freaks out and leaves in the middle of it. And then the next day, his life as he knows it is completely like shifted. There's things that he remembers that everybody else around him doesn't, and a lot of things have changed, like the name of his dog. His mother has a strange scar on her face, and he doesn't know where it came from. And his friend isn't, I might have this backwards, but he's either a DC fan and now he's Marvel, or he was Marvel and now he's DC, but just little things like that. And he believes it's from the hypnotism, and he goes back to the guy to get it fixed, and the guy's like, well, in order to fix it I have to finish the hypnotism, and he's like, absolutely not, no. So the whole book is just him finding out all the things in his life that have changed, and I absolutely recommend this book. Please pick this one up. It is so good. I fell in love with Noah, and I like David Arnold's writing. I like his other books too, so highly recommend. Then I read Listen to Your Heart by Casey West, and this was my first Casey West book, and I have to say I really didn't enjoy it. I thought it was cool. It's about a girl who joins a podcast and she's kind of being pushed out of her element. While she's there, this mysterious boy calls in, and you know, it's just a light, summer, fluffy, cute romance, and I give it a 2 out of 5 stars. I don't think there was anything extravagant about it. You know, if you like contemporary, then you probably like this, but like I said, nothing too wow factor about it. My next 2 books I'm going to talk about together because they're both Rick Riordan and part of a series. I have The Son of Neptune and The Mark of Athena, and I listened to these both on audiobook. There's not much I can say without spoiling anything. I did give these both 3 out of 5 stars. I really like the audiobook narration. I find that audiobooks are better for me with Rick Riordan's writing style, so that's why I listen to his books on audio now. Basically, this is a series after Percy Jackson, and Percy Jackson shows up in these series, and so does Annabeth, and they're a lot of fun. That same Rick Riordan humor that you know and love from the Percy Jackson series. Definitely can't wait to read the next one in the series. I have 2 more left, and then I will have the series finished. And I read The History of Jane Doe by Michael Ballinger, and this book is told through the perspective of a boy who meets this girl, and he doesn't tell us her real name, so he calls her Jane Doe. She shows up in this town, and this town's a little quirky. There's somebody who used to live there that claimed that he saw green cows and stuff, so hence the little green cow. But this book is a lot more than what you think it to be. This book is really about anxiety and depression and grief and what being with someone who has all those feelings is like. That's basically what Raymond is telling through the whole story about when he meets Jane and how he really likes her, but then when he gets with her, how it's hard to deal with her mood swings because one day she's really happy and then for the week he doesn't hear from her because she's really depressed. And you find out why and what happened to her. But this book was a lot more sad than I thought it was going to be, honestly, because I saw the green cows and I thought this was going to be a comedy, and there are funny aspects, but it absolutely was not. This was a very heartbreaking book, and I think I gave it like a 3.25. I'm not really sure, but it's really short, so if you have the time and you're interested, pick it up because it does touch a lot of important aspects, like I said, anxiety and depression and grief. Also, I'm going to put a trigger warning for suicide on here, as he does learn that Jane Doe did try to commit suicide before she moved to his town, so just be aware of that going in if that's something you're sensitive to. Next up, I read Walk on Earth a Stranger by Ray Carson, and I listened to this on audiobook, and 5 out of 5 recommend. This became one of my favorite series of all time. The audiobook narration is fantastic, some of the best I've ever heard. Like, this is going on my top audiobooks list. This story is just, it took me by storm because honestly it's not something that I usually read, and I was shocked at how much I loved it because of the aspect it's not a story I usually like to read. But this story is about Lee, and she has this sensitivity to gold. She can sense it when it's around her. I forget what time period this is in, but it's way back in the day before like California is even a state and everybody's riding horses and everything. She comes home to find her mother and her father murdered and all of their gold stolen, and she finds out that it was her uncle. He is also trying to take her because he knows that she can sense gold. So she runs away with her horse Puny and pretends to be a boy, wants to travel from Georgia to California. And earlier in the book, her best friend Jefferson offers her to marry him and come with him, and she turns him down. But later on, she finds him along the way to California, and she encounters other new friends, and she also gets robbed, and all the trials and tribulations of riding horseback from Georgia to California. And honestly, I just cannot recommend this enough. Definitely pick this one up. It is such a beautiful story. I just finished book 2. You'll see that in my July wrap up, and it's amazing. It is truly amazing what Ray Carson created. The final book that I read in June is Sadie by Courtney Summers, and I was sent an e-arc of this, and then I fell in love with it so much that I wanted the physical arc, and my friend Ashley was kind enough to send me her copy, so thank you so much. That really means so much to me. I really appreciate it. Definitely pre-order this book, guys. 5 out of 5 stars. Part of the story is told in Sadie's perspective, then the other part is told in a podcast of them looking for Sadie, because she is out looking for the guy who murdered her sister. Her sister was murdered at the beginning of the book. You find that out right away, and Sadie wants to hunt this guy down and get revenge on him. You learn so much about the sisterhood between of them, and Sadie raised her sister because her mother was an addict and missing majority of their life, so the bond between them is really incredible. And this is just such a heartbreaking, harsh story, but it's so beautiful and amazing. This probably is my favorite book that I have read all year, and I will never stop talking about it. Honestly, I want to film a review on it. It's a psychological thriller, and it's just so amazing. Like, I don't even know what to say to you guys, because I don't want to like spoil anything, but it is incredible. It's incredible. Definitely pre-order this, please, because it is so good. You will not be disappointed. Also, Courtney just released that there is going to be a podcast of her book to go with the podcast that is inside the book. So that is incredible. I've already subscribed. Check that out. You can listen to a sample of it. And yeah, like I said, 5 out of 5. Highly recommend. I loved this book. So there you guys have it. That is my June wrap up. If you guys have read any of these books, let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you're excited or want to pick any of these books up, let me know that as well. And just a quick side note, I did have a BookCon haul filmed. I had it completely edited. It took me like a month to do because it was an hour-long video, and I made the mistake of deleting it. And it is gone from the cloud forever. So I was really upset. I was really disappointed because it was a really cool video and I was really excited to get it to you guys, but I learned my lesson. So yeah, that was sad. On a happier note, I did read 11 books in June. So as always, if you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.